installed the license. Now it's time to configure the authenticator for this UI. It's only to protect this particular UI. So either you set up a user on your remote system like Building Operations for Schneider or DesigoCC that has no rights that you can use to log on this UI, and have another user that actually reads and writes data from your system. This is a great way to do separation of concerns, to allow people that are maybe not allowed to use your, for example, DesigoCC system, but are able to go in, check the logs here, and make sure that the Cblocal connector do work. Otherwise, you use the same user. That's up to you. But you can't do anything with this protected part except for go in to do authentication. In my case, I have EWS since I have a EcoStruxure Schneider Electric Building Operation machine on my local host. You may have it anywhere else, and then you have to have another IP address or DNS. It will use this the default if not passed in the path here if you have mounted the SOAP service on another place. Secure connection, so it uses TLS. The timeout is 30 seconds, so it will give up if it can't or if the server hangs. In my case, we don't have a valid certificate on it, so we need to disable verified remote endpoint. And then you need to enter the credentials for your remote system. It depends. Some system only needs client ID and client secrets. Some needs all of this or even an API key and any combination in between. In my case, it has autofill this username and password, and that's only needed for an EVS or a Schneider EVS system. And these are not stored in the auth config. I will show you where it is. It is just to test that it works. So this is what the user need to fill in. These are stored. If not, if the username and password is empty, then these are not stored as well. But you need to enter a username and password to log into this UI. Keep these as default. So what this states that it will write the request, log it as a debug level, and by default it's on info level, so it will not emit any logs for request response. But this is good if there's some problem. Just I either set it to debug the whole system log level or trace, or change this to log it in a more severe way, for example in info or warn. Faults and errors are always logged in error. Since the default is to have it in info mode, it will always be logged. And this do not have any provider specific settings, this particular provider. So test and configure. So success. Now I have successfully configured this. Now we're done. So now we can actually go to logs, but first we need to log into the system to create a session for this UI. And now we can see that we have logs here. You can also go to the documentation anywhere when you want to read it through, and it's quite thorough. For example, we walk through the web UI authentication configuration. You can see here the file that it will write when you do that. And you can see that it doesn't store anything except for the endpoint and the other configuration around it. So that's that.